Every home workshop reaches a point where portable tools just aren't enough anymore. At first, you can get by holding a board with one hand while you drill with the other. You can clamp parts to the edge of the bench or ask someone to hold them for you. It works until it doesn't. Sooner or later, you realize the problem isn't the drill, the grinder, or the file. The problem is that the work keeps moving. When the work moves, your cuts become less accurate, your projects take longer, and you put your holding hand at unnecessary risk. That's where a bench vise changes everything. It doesn't cut, drill, grind, or shape anything by itself. What it does is hold your work securely so you can focus on using the tool instead of fighting the part. There aren't many projects in my shop where the bench vise doesn't get used somewhere along the way. In this video, we'll look at why a bench vise deserves a permanent place in your home workshop. We'll talk about the different types of vices, what features are worth looking for, what to inspect if you're buying a used vise, where to mount it on your workbench, and a few accessories that can make it even more useful. By the end of this video, you'll know what to look for and whether it's time to add a bench vise to your own workshop. Before we start looking at bench vises, it's worth knowing there are several different types of vises. Each one is designed for a particular kind of work. Choosing the right one depends on the projects you expect to do most often. A woodworking vise is designed to hold wood without damaging it. They usually have wide jaws with wooden faces and are mounted flush with the workbench. They're an excellent choice if your projects are mostly furniture, cabinets, or fine woodworking. A pipe vise is built specifically for gripping round pipe. The jaws are shaped to hold pipe securely while cutting, threading, or repairing plumbing. If you regularly work with pipe, this is the right tool for the job. A blacksmith or leg vise is made for heavy hammering. Its long support leg transfers the force directly to the floor instead of through the workbench. These are common in forging and heavy metalworking shops, but are more than most homeowners need. Drill press vises are designed to hold work securely while drilling. They keep the work from spinning and help improve drilling accuracy. They are not intended to replace a bench vise because they're designed for one specific machine. There are also small clamp-on vises, suction-base vises, and hobby vises. They can be useful for light-duty work, electronics, or small craft projects, but they're not designed for the general work found in most home workshops. For most homeowners, the bench vise is the best all-around choice. It can hold wood, steel, aluminum, plastic, and hundreds of other projects. That's why it's often the first stationary tool I recommend adding to a home workshop, and that's the type of vise we'll focus on for the rest of this video. Now that we've narrowed it down to a bench vise, how do you choose the right one? There are a lot of choices, and it's easy to think that bigger is always better. In most home workshops, that's simply not the case. The first thing to consider is the kind of work you'll be doing. If your projects are mostly household repairs, small metal brackets, sharpening tools, or general DIY work, a 4-inch bench vise will handle a surprising amount of work. That's the size I use in my shop today. A 5-inch bench vise is probably the best all-around choice for most homeowners. It gives you a little more jaw width, a little more clamping capacity, and a little more weight without taking up too much room on the workbench. If you're only planning to own one bench vise, this is the size I would recommend looking at first. If you regularly work with heavy steel, large weldments, or bigger fabrication projects, then a 6-inch vise starts to make sense. They're heavier, stronger, and capable of holding much larger workpieces, but they also require a heavier workbench and take up considerably more space. As you compare different vises, don't get caught up in paint color or advertising. Instead, pay attention to the features that affect how well the vise will serve you over the years. One feature I like is replaceable hardened jaws. If they become worn or damaged, you can usually replace them instead of replacing the entire vise. That's a worthwhile feature if you expect to keep the vise for many years. Look for a vise that opens and closes smoothly through its full travel. The handle should turn without binding, and the moving jaw shouldn't wobble excessively. A little movement is normal, but a good vise should feel solid when it's tightened. If you're buying a used vise, don't worry about scratches, worn paint, or surface rust. Those are signs that the vise has been used. What matters is the condition of the working parts, and we'll look at those in the next section. Remember, a bench vise is one of those tools you'll probably buy once and use for decades. Take your time, choose one that fits the kind of work you actually do, and you'll likely never regret having it in your shop. One of the nice things about buying a bench vise is that you don't always have to buy a new one. Unlike many power tools, a good bench vise has very few moving parts. If it's been treated well, a used vise can give you decades of reliable service. The first thing I look at is the casting. Look closely around the base, the mounting ears, both jaws, and the swivel base. Small chips in the paint aren't important, but cracks in the casting are a deal breaker. A cracked vise has lost much of its strength, and that's usually a good reason to keep on looking elsewhere. Next, look at the jaws again. I prefer Vises with replaceable hardened jaws. They can be replaced if they're badly worn or damaged. Check that the jaws close evenly across their full width. If one corner touches long before the other, the vise may be bent or sprung. Now, open and close the vise through its full travel. It should move smoothly without tight spots or excessive looseness. A little backlash in the screw is normal, especially on an older vise, but the moving jaw shouldn't rock excessively from side to side. Take the handle and tighten the vise firmly. It should feel solid. If the handle keeps turning and the jaws don't continue to tighten, or if something feels like it's slipping inside, that's a sign of internal wear or damage. Unlock the swivel base and rotate it through its full range. Then lock it back down. It should lock firmly without excessive force. Worn or damaged locking screws can make the swivel difficult to secure. Take a look at the anvil behind the jaws. Small dents and hammer marks are perfectly normal. Deep cracks or large broken pieces tell a different story. That usually means the vise has been abused. Don't let surface rust or worn paint scare you away. Most good shop tools earn a few scars over the years. Cosmetic wear usually isn't a problem. What matters is that the working parts are solid and everything operates the way it should. Finally, think about the type of work you'll be doing. A heavy industrial vise is certainly nice to own, but it also takes up more room and costs more money. For most homeowners, a good quality 4 or 5-inch bench vise will handle the vast majority of projects they'll ever do. A bench vise is one of those tools that's expected to last for decades. Take a few extra minutes to inspect it carefully before you buy it. A little patience today can save you from a lifetime of frustration. Now that you've chosen a bench vise, it's time to give some thought to where you're going to mount it. This is one of those decisions that's easy to overlook, but a good location will make the vise much more useful for years to come. Most people mount a bench vise near the front edge of the workbench. That allows the fixed jaw to sit even with, or just slightly beyond, the edge of the bench. The reason is simple. When you're clamping long material, you want it to hang down below the bench instead of hitting the front edge. Before drilling any holes, place the vise on the bench and try a few different positions. Open the jaws fully. Swing the swivel base if your vise has one. Make sure the handle clears the front of the bench and doesn't strike a cabinet, drawer, or table leg. It's much easier to move the vise now than after you've drilled the mounting holes. Once you're satisfied with the location, mark the mounting holes carefully. A center punch will help keep the drill bit from wandering and make drilling much more accurate. Use bolts that completely pass through the workbench with flat washers and locking nuts underneath. I don't recommend using wood screws or lag screws alone. A bench vise is designed to handle a lot of force, and through bolts provide the strongest, most reliable mounting. If your workbench has a thinner wooden top, adding a steel plate or a large wooden backing plate underneath will spread the load over a much larger area. That helps prevent the bolts from pulling through the bench over time. After everything is tightened down, give the vise one final check. Open and close the jaws, rotate the base, and make sure nothing interferes with its movement. Once it's mounted securely, your bench vise is ready for years of service. A bench vise doesn't require a lot of maintenance, but a little attention once in a while will keep it working smoothly for many years. The lead screw is the heart of the vise. Keep it reasonably clean and apply a light coat of oil or grease occasionally. That will help the jaws move smoothly and reduce unnecessary wear. If your vise has a swivel base, keep the clamping surfaces clean. Dirt, grinding dust, and metal chips can keep the base from locking securely. Those surfaces need occasional attention. Every now and then, check the bolts that hold the vise to your workbench. Heavy clamping, hammering, and years of use can sometimes loosen the mounting hardware. It only takes a minute to make sure everything is still tight. The jaws are designed to grip your work, but they aren't designed for every material. If you're working with aluminum, brass, wood, painted parts, or finished surfaces, install a set of soft jaws before tightening the vise. It's much easier to prevent damage than it is to remove jaw marks later. Finally, use your bench vise for the job it was designed to do. Don't use it as a hydraulic press, and don't treat the anvil like a blacksmith's forge. A few light taps are one thing, but repeated heavy sledgehammer blows can crack even a good vise. Take reasonable care of your bench vise, and it will probably outlast many of the other tools in your shop. A bench vise is a useful tool by itself, but a few simple accessories can make it even more versatile. One of the first accessories I'd recommend is a set of soft jaws. Soft jaws fit over the hardened steel jaws and protect finished surfaces from being scratched or dented. They're especially useful when working with aluminum, brass, plastic, wood, or painted parts. Some vises come with aggressive, serrated jaws that grip steel extremely well. Others use a finer diamond pattern that leaves fewer marks on the work. Neither is right or wrong. It depends on what you're holding. The important thing is understanding that different jaw styles are designed for different jobs. Another useful accessory is a pipe jaw attachment. If you work with round pipe on a regular basis, these jaws make it much easier to grip pipe securely without it rolling or slipping. I recently added a clamping attachment that mounts over the anvil on my vise. It gives me another way to hold small parts while filing, grinding, or assembling projects. Sometimes a simple accessory like this can save a lot of time and make a difficult job much easier. You'll also find magnetic jaw pads, rubber jaw covers, copper jaws, aluminum jaws, and even wooden jaw liners. The goal is always the same. Hold the work securely without damaging it. Don't feel like you need to buy every accessory that's available. Start with the vise itself. Add accessories as your projects require them, and let your workshop grow over time. That's usually the most economical approach, and you'll end up buying the accessories you actually use instead of the ones that simply looked interesting on the shelf. One of the reasons I recommend a bench vise so highly is because it quickly becomes one of the hardest working tools in the shop. There aren't many projects where I don't use mine at least once. Sometimes it's holding a piece of steel while I file an edge. Other times it's holding a bracket while I drill a hole, a bolt while I clean up the threads, or a drill bit while I sharpen it. It holds parts while I saw them, grind them, deburr them, sand them, measure them, or simply inspect them more closely. The nice thing about a bench vise is that it gives you both hands to control the tool instead of using one hand to hold the work. That usually means better accuracy, better control, and a safer way to work. As your shop grows, you'll probably add a bench grinder, a drill press, maybe a belt sander, or other stationary tools. Every one of those tools works better when the workpiece is already held securely. That's why a bench vise fits into almost every workshop, no matter what kinds of projects you enjoy. A good bench vise isn't something you'll use once in a while. It's a tool you'll reach for over and over again without even thinking about it. The more projects you build, the more valuable it becomes. Before a tool can do good work, the work has to be held securely. That's why every home workshop needs a bench vise. If you're just starting to build your home workshop, a bench vise is one of the smartest investments you can make. Buy one that fits your work, mount it securely, take care of it, and it will probably serve you for the rest of your life. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'll also enjoy the next video in this shop setup series, where we'll look at one of the next stationary tools many home workshops add, a bench grinder. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.